Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs at you. One minute you're on top of the world, the next you're flat on your face. That's exactly what happened to me. I thought I had it all figured out. A steady job, a nice house, and a loving family. But then, everything changed in the blink of an eye. I lost my job. It wasn't just any job, it was my dream job. Suddenly, I was unemployed. No income, no purpose. My relationship started to crumble. Arguments became more frequent. Before I knew it, I was alone. But little did I know, this was just the beginning of my journey. Rock bottom, we've all heard the term, but until you've been there, you can't truly understand what it means. For me, rock bottom was a dark place. A place where hope seemed like a distant memory. I found myself living in my car. My savings had run dry, my pride was in shambles. Every day was a struggle, finding a place to shower, scrounging for food, trying to keep up appearances for job interviews. It was exhausting, both physically and mentally. I felt like a failure, like I had let everyone down. The worst part was the isolation. When you're at your lowest, it's easy to push people away, to hide from the world. But sometimes, it's when we're at our lowest that we find the strength to rise. And rise, I did. They say it's always darkest before the dawn, and in my case, that couldn't have been more true. I found myself in a place where hope seemed like a distant memory. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, something changed. It was unexpected, almost like a miracle. It wasn't a big change, not at first. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it was enough to spark a glimmer of hope, a tiny flicker that began to grow. It started with a stranger's kindness, a simple gesture that had a profound impact. A woman at a local diner noticed me. She saw something in me that I had forgotten existed. She saw through my facade, the mask I wore to hide my pain, saw the struggle I was trying so hard to hide, the inner turmoil that consumed me. And instead of looking away, she reached out. Her compassion was a beacon in my darkness, offered me a free meal. It wasn't much, but it was a gesture filled with warmth and humanity. But in that moment, it meant everything. It was a reminder that I mattered. That small act of kindness was like a lifeline. It pulled me from the brink of despair. It reminded me that there was still good in the world, that I wasn't alone, that people cared. So I decided to make a change, to take control of my life and my destiny. It was the first step on my journey back to myself, a journey of personal growth and self-discovery. Once I decided to take control of my life, things started to change. Not overnight, mind you. Change is a slow process. But I began to see my failures not as endpoints, but as starting points. Each setback became a lesson, an opportunity to grow. I learned the importance of humility, of asking for help when you need it. I swallowed my pride and reached out to old friends and colleagues. Some didn't respond, and that hurt, but others did. They offered support, advice, and sometimes just a listening ear. It reminded me of the power of human connection. I also learned the value of perseverance, of getting back up every time life knocks you down. It wasn't easy. There were days when I wanted to give up, but I kept pushing, kept trying, kept believing that things would get better. I realized that every small step forward, no matter how insignificant it seemed, was progress. Perhaps the most important lesson was learning to love myself again, to accept my flaws and celebrate my strengths, to understand that self-love is not selfish, but necessary for growth and happiness. Resilience, it's a word we hear a lot. But what does it really mean? To me, resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being able to bend without breaking, to weather the storm and come out stronger on the other side. Building resilience wasn't easy. It took time, it took effort, it took a willingness to face my fears and insecurities head on. But with each small victory, I grew stronger, more confident, more resilient. I started small, set achievable goals for myself each day. Sometimes it was as simple as applying for a job, other times it was reaching out to an old friend. Each goal accomplished was a step forward. Slowly but surely, things started to improve. I found a temporary job. It wasn't my dream job, but it was a start. It gave me structure, purpose. As I began to rebuild my life, I realized something important. Playing it safe had gotten me nowhere. If I wanted real change, I needed to take risks, to step out of my comfort zone. It was scary, terrifying even, but it was necessary. I decided to pursue a career change, to follow a passion I'd always had but never dared to pursue. It meant starting over, learning new skills, facing the possibility of failure again. But this time failure didn't scare me as much. I knew I could survive it. I knew I could learn from it. Taking risks also meant being vulnerable, opening myself up to new relationships, both personal and professional. It meant putting myself out there, risking rejection, but also giving myself the chance to form meaningful connections. Each risk I took made me stronger. Life is full of second chances, but they are often disguised as hard work and persistence. They don't always come knocking on your door, waiting for you to answer. Sometimes you have to create them yourself, planting the seeds of your future. You have to be ready to seize opportunities when they present themselves, no matter how small they may seem, and that's exactly what I did. I took a leap of faith. When a friend mentioned a startup looking for someone with my skills, I jumped at the chance without hesitation. It wasn't a sure thing. The company was new, unproven, and full of uncertainties. But I saw it as an opportunity, a new dawn, a fresh start, a chance to be part of something from the ground up, to build something meaningful. I threw myself into the work, dedicating countless hours and energy. I used all the lessons I'd learned from my past failures, turning them into stepping stones. I had the humility to ask for help when I needed it, seeking guidance from mentors. The perseverance to keep going when things got tough, pushing through every obstacle. The willingness to take risks and try new approaches. And you know what? It paid off. The company grew, and I grew with it, becoming stronger and more resilient with each passing day. Looking back on my journey, I'm amazed at how far I've come. From living in my car to leading a successful team, from feeling worthless to knowing my true worth. It's been a wild ride, but I wouldn't change it for anything. My story isn't over. Life is a continuous journey of growth and learning. There will be more challenges, more setbacks. But now I face them with confidence, with resilience, with the knowledge that I can overcome anything life throws my way. To anyone out there facing their own struggles, I want you to know this: you are stronger than you think. Your setbacks don't define you, they refine you, they teach you, they make you who you are meant to be. Don't give up, keep pushing forward, embrace your failures as learning opportunities, take risks, believe in yourself. Thank you for watching.